Is mindful of a legacy of service and devotion to this country set by my beloved mother, the late Queen, that I deliver this, the first King's speech in over 70 years.
The royal world was shaken when a private letter from Meghan Markle to Princess Anne surfaced, and its opening line said it all. "I'm ready to return to the UK with my husband, to stand by him, to honor Her Majesty's legacy, and to remind our children where their roots began." That single sentence, written by hand and dated December 21, 2025, hit like a thunderbolt across royal circles. Just days before Christmas, the envelope quietly showed up at Gatcombe Park, delivered by private couriers who asked no questions and left no trace. No signatures, no records, nothing. The letter itself was pure class. Thick paper, embossed seal, and careful handwriting that hinted at purpose. But it wasn't just the presentation. The tone was calm, heartfelt, and surprisingly diplomatic. Nothing like what the palace had seen from Meghan since she and Harry's dramatic 2020 exit. Sources close to what insiders call the Anne-William corridor say Meghan's message focused on reconnection, remembrance, and a possible short-term return to royal life. Wording that instantly sent quiet alarm through the household. What stunned everyone most was her bold mention of the late Queen's private wish for unity and forgiveness among her grandchildren, a deeply personal note that few ever expected to see in writing. According to one insider, that sentiment had only appeared in the Queen's sealed reflections and was never meant to be shared publicly. It felt like she was using legacy as leverage, one courtier reportedly said. The timing made it even more explosive. Meghan's letter dropped right in the middle of a divided royal house, landing exactly 3 years and 4 months after she and Harry stepped away from royal duties, amid non-stop media chaos, podcast drama, and post-interview tension. This time, there were no Netflix cameras hiding in the shadows, no big streaming deals riding along, just fading media buzz and, according to insiders, some growing pressure behind the scenes. Sources claim the couple's finances are feeling the pinch thanks to the heavy costs of private security, ongoing legal battles, and the challenges of living life without royal support. The timing of Meghan's letter instantly turned heads. December 21st wasn't just any date. It marked the late Queen's final Christmas message before her passing, and what would have been her 100th televised address if she were still with us. Meghan wrote and dated her note that very morning, a move many saw as intentional. Some royal aides quietly suggested she was trying to reshape her image, not as someone who walked away, but as a mourning granddaughter-in-law reaching out from the heart. What added more intrigue was her request to come back before the new year, saying she wanted Archie and Lilibet to privately lay flowers beside Gangan's portrait at Windsor. The gesture sounded deeply emotional, but those close to the situation say every word in that letter felt deliberate. Meghan signed off simply as Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, noticeably leaving out the HRH styling, and that tiny omission spoke volumes. To some, it looked like modesty. To others, it came across as a carefully controlled move, maybe even a test. While the message focused on remembrance, multiple insiders insist Meghan's bigger worry was actually Harry's emotional and financial strain. Earlier this month, Harry lost a major appeal in his long-running UK security case, but hidden inside that same ruling was a small but powerful clause, one that allows limited reassessment if a royal temporarily returns to official duties. According to palace insiders, Prince Harry now sees that legal clause as his one remaining lifeline. Those close to him say he views it as a rare chance to prove his value to the crown, rebuild his dignity, and step away from what some quietly call the commercial fatigue of Montecito life. Insiders describe him as struggling emotionally, but still holding on to pride, torn between Meghan's long-term vision and his own fading sense of purpose. One aide close to King Charles summed it up sharply. He wants to come home, but he's scared of what it'll cost him. King Charles, often called the Philosopher King, is reportedly deeply conflicted, while Queen Camilla, Princess Anne, and Prince William remain firmly against any idea of bringing the Sussexes back into the royal fold. Charles has shown what one courtier described as soft eyes when it comes to Harry, especially regarding family traditions. According to one insider, there's still a part of the king that believes Harry can be restored, but Meghan, absolutely not. Princess Catherine is said to be quietly torn as well. Known for her grace and loyalty, she's privately saddened by how fractured the once close royal bond has become, especially the loss of that brotherly closeness between William and Harry. Yet she's also seen the aftermath up close, the high-profile interviews, the streaming specials, and the subtle public jabs that caused waves inside the palace. She values family, a close friend explained. But she also believes in responsibility, and there's only so much public tension anyone can take. If Charles is emotionally divided, Princess Anne and Prince William are solid as steel. The Princess Royal reportedly didn't even answer Meghan's letter directly. Instead, she passed it straight to senior aides with a short, unmistakably firm note attached. The institution does not move backwards. That firm statement reportedly summed up the palace's stance. Behind the scenes, Prince William has been quietly leading what insiders describe as a silent resistance since early December, working closely with Princess Anne, the Duchess of Edinburgh, and Prince Edward to tighten up royal procedures. These new safeguards reportedly ensure that any non-working royal must receive unanimous internal approval before attending remembrance events, especially if cameras or media are present. Insiders say the goal is clear: to block any potential for a public soft return, no matter how carefully it's presented. In a rare, tender family moment, Princess Charlotte is said to have spoken up during a private conversation, asking her parents, "If Uncle Harry comes back, will Archie and Lilibet come too?" Sources describe it as an unexpectedly emotional moment, simple, heartfelt, and honest. Her words reportedly touched Catherine deeply, but also strengthened William's determination to hold the line. Charlotte sees cousins, one aide explained. William sees a duty to protect the crown. Meghan's letter didn't sit idle for long. Within hours, sealed copies were circulated to King Charles, Queen Camilla, Prince William, the Duchess of Edinburgh, and Prince Edward. At the top of the document was marked in red, "Private Communication, Duchess of Sussex." At Clarence House, King Charles reportedly read the letter 3 times in total silence before gently placing it down and saying quietly, "She knows exactly what she's doing." Despite being the only senior royal who still carries an emotional soft spot for Harry, even Charles could see the deeper message written between the lines. Meghan wasn't just reflecting on the late Queen, she was carefully using her memory to shape a quiet pathway back into royal life, one that could later be seen as an attempt to make peace. She'll write it into a chapter. That sharp remark, purportedly from Queen Camilla, perfectly captures her stance behind palace doors. Though she's remained publicly silent, insiders say Camilla has become one of the most determined voices pushing back against any talk of Meghan's return. Sources reveal she personally encouraged Prince William and Princess Anne to reinforce engagement rules, ensuring no unexpected reunion could be twisted by the media into a redemption narrative. But her concern wasn't just about public image. It had real legal weight. According to a palace insider, Camilla requested a formal review of a clause within Queen Elizabeth II's sealed legacy directive. That clause states that only working royals may represent the crown in remembrance events, unless granted written approval from the reigning monarch. Once considered a ceremonial guideline, that line could now stand as a serious barrier, even for symbolic appearances. If Meghan walks into Windsor with cameras behind her, she controls the story, one aide reportedly said. So we make sure every door is locked before she even reaches the gates. While Meghan's letter painted her as a grieving daughter-in-law and a loyal partner standing beside her husband, several royal observers believe it might also lay the groundwork for something much larger. Legal commentators suggest the timing could even be financially strategic. Under California law, marriages that last 10 years can sometimes open the door for long-term spousal support, rather than limited payments, and Harry and Meghan's 10-year anniversary is still a few years away, meaning strategic positioning could already be underway. A former royal legal advisor explained, "At 9 years, support can be limited, but at 10, courts may consider longer-term financial arrangements, especially if emotional or financial dependency is established." That context has brought new attention to a resurfaced 2022 audio clip from their Netflix project, where Meghan is reportedly heard saying, "I've saved everything, every message, every conversation, just in case." Insiders claim Prince Harry agreed to send the letter, but he didn't take part in writing it. He signed off in silence, one aide revealed. Another source added bluntly, he wants to come back, but not alongside her. Behind closed doors, Harry has reportedly opened up to a trusted former military contact, saying he feels cornered by choices that can't be undone. Friends say he appears thinner, more subdued, and unsure of where he truly belongs. Still, he continues to publicly stand by Meghan, pushing back gently against criticism from his father and brother, while holding on to the life they once tried to build together. As one former royal press officer put it, if he admits she made mistakes, he has to admit he gave up everything for something that didn't work out. That kind of emotional crossroads has left him torn, loyal in public, conflicted in private. If Meghan Markle hoped her heartfelt letter to Princess Anne would open the door to sympathy or even a soft re-entry into royal life, the response inside Windsor Castle was the complete opposite. Within just 48 hours of Anne forwarding the message to palace operations, a quiet yet powerful protocol review was put into motion. At the center of this behind-the-scenes movement stood Prince William, the Prince of Wales, alongside Princess Anne, the monarchy's most steadfast guardian. Together, they weren't merely setting boundaries, they were fortifying them. One senior source said it felt like they were building a wall around the institution itself. On December 23, 2025, only 2 days after Meghan's letter began circulating, Princess Anne reportedly gathered senior aides in the East Drawing Room at Windsor for a confidential strategy session. The meeting, described as calm but commanding, marked a turning point. A witness to the confidential meeting said Anne entered the room carrying a single folder, calm, composed, and ready to take charge. She reportedly opened with a sharp statement that set the tone immediately. "We must not let emotion become a tool, nor allow the press to steer our actions." That single line froze the room. It was clear Anne wasn't here for sentiment, only structure. Inside that meeting, Anne and Prince William swiftly authorized what insiders called a temporary lockdown of all ceremonial guest lists. This included New Year's receptions, remembrance gatherings, and every major royal event planned for spring 2026. From that moment forward, every single invitation was to be double-checked, then cleared through a newly formed four-person approval panel. William, Anne, Sophie, and the Queen's senior legal advisor. The Sussexes, according to those present, were to be excluded entirely, even from symbolic mentions or background acknowledgments. That very same day, Princess Anne quietly gave clear instructions to the palace communications team. No responses to speculation, no press comments. Silence is strength. Every move from then on would be calm, measured, and precise. While Anne and William managed the operational front, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, took charge of the emotional one. She reached out personally to mid-level palace staff, the people who keep the machine running, urging them to stay firm and avoid slipping into sympathy or gossip. A source familiar with Sophie's role said she viewed Meghan's letter as a calculated move. According to the insider, Sophie warned that one small gesture of warmth, one relaxed comment, could be twisted into an open invitation. Her message was crystal clear: no mistakes, not this time. Prince Edward, known for his quiet strength and steady loyalty, reportedly gave his full support to the tightening measures, and in a rare show of direct involvement, he requested a private audience with King Charles on Christmas Eve. According to an aide who attended, Edward's words were firm and simple: "We cannot afford another split. Not again." Outwardly, Princess Catherine stood firmly beside William, unwavering in public and united in purpose. But behind closed doors, she confided to her closest circle the quiet sadness she still carried over how deeply things had fractured with Harry. She remembers the brother-in-law who once filled rooms with laughter, who doted on baby George, and who brought warmth to countless family gatherings. Yet she also remembers the sting, the interviews, the documentaries, and the subtle remarks that strained every bridge left standing. Her compassion runs deep, but even that has limits. While Catherine fully supports the firm no-return position, she's made one point clear: Archie and Lilibet must never bear the cost of their parents' choices. They're innocent in all this, she said privately, drawing a clear emotional line between royal duty and family bonds. That inner conflict became visible on Christmas Day during the family's private walkabout at Sandringham. Cameras caught Catherine holding Princess Charlotte's hand just a bit tighter than usual as photographers called out from afar. Later that evening, she was overheard telling William softly, "It's not just about them anymore. It's about what we show our children, how we teach them to respond when hurt comes knocking." Those words revealed more than she likely intended: the heart of a mother caught between empathy and protection. That same night, in the quiet comfort of their family room, Princess Charlotte, only 10 years old, looked up at her father and asked the question that froze everyone in place. If they're really gone forever, will I ever see Archie or Lilibet again? The room reportedly fell completely silent. William, who had spent the previous 48 hours directing plans to block a Sussex return, suddenly felt the full weight of both his crown and his heart. Charlotte wasn't asking about politics, nor about palace tension. She was asking about cousins, about family. And that, insiders say, is the real dilemma haunting the monarchy right now: how to defend dignity, protect the institution, and still keep the bonds of kinship alive. The next morning, Prince William reportedly confided in Princess Anne with a heavy heart but a firm tone. The fact that Charlotte still cares is exactly why we can't open the door again. They'd only turn it into a story. His words, though calm, carried the full weight of conviction. The palace, meanwhile, stayed completely silent. No official statements, no comments, no clarifications. Every potential media leak was handled quietly and intentionally, described by insiders as controlled, vague, and strategic. The public was left to fill in the blanks, and speculation ran wild. Those pushing for a reconciliation argued that Prince Harry deserved a second chance, especially given his recent legal setbacks and visible financial pressures. But on the other side stood the traditionalists, who viewed Meghan's letter as a calculated move designed to reframe her image and possibly prepare for an independent rebranding. Some within the royal circles even feared that allowing a soft return could blur the line between remembrance and publicity, potentially overshadowing the late Queen's legacy. Online, public sentiment mirrored the divide. Social media platforms lit up with hashtags like "No Way Back," "Protect the Firm," and "Honor the Queen," showing how fiercely opinions were split. Some posts expressed compassion for Harry's struggles, while others made it clear that trust, once broken, isn't easily rebuilt. As the new year approached, Meghan and Harry remained in California, quiet, composed, and watching everything unfold from afar. Sources close to the couple claim Meghan is waiting for a discreet signal from either Princess Anne or King Charles before making her next move. But insiders insist that signal isn't coming and probably never will. What Meghan may not fully grasp, say royal observers, is that the palace's silence isn't hesitation, it's strategy. Deliberate, protective, and built to endure. Princess Anne's refusal to respond wasn't just cold diplomacy, it was a statement of finality. According to senior media sources in Los Angeles, Meghan's letter to Princess Anne was never meant to stand alone. It was only the first move in a carefully planned sequence. Just a few days later, a second, far more emotional and deliberate letter was reportedly sent directly to King Charles III on December 24th, only hours before his pre-recorded Christmas address was set to air. Unlike the earlier message, which focused on legacy and remembrance, this one was deeply personal, almost intimate in tone. Insiders say Meghan began the letter by invoking Queen Elizabeth II's private wish for reconciliation, a phrase she used several times, each with subtle variation to emphasize emotion and sincerity. She framed Harry as a son searching for guidance, a father rebuilding for his children, and a man still carrying the weight of grief but ready to heal. Sources describe the writing style as tender yet deliberate, protective of Harry, but also persuasive toward the king. At one point, she reportedly wrote, "I know the cost of what we walked away from, but I also know the cost of pride. Please don't let legacy divide instead of heal." That line, according to royal watchers, struck right at the emotional core of the letter. Meghan also mentioned Harry's sleepless nights and their children asking about Gan almost every day, painting a picture of family longing rather than rebellion. She closed with a final, polished appeal. Let this be the beginning of something quieter, more genuine, and centered on family. We don't ask for titles, we only ask for warmth. But royal analysts saw right through the sentiment. One former Buckingham Palace staffer bluntly described it as not a letter, an exhibit. In their view, the message wasn't just emotional, it was strategic, something that could later serve as proof of an attempt to reconcile. "See, I tried." Insiders believe the move was legally mindful, emotionally layered and perfectly timed. And almost immediately after that second letter reportedly reached Charles, subtle shifts began appearing in Meghan's PR network. Social cues, quiet updates, and soft media placements that suggested her next move was already in motion. A former Netflix producer once linked to the Sussex media circle posted a string of cryptic tweets hinting at unfinished stories and misunderstood legacies, sparking instant online buzz. Around the same time, insiders at Spotify confirmed that Meghan's 6-month non-compete clause from her previous podcast deal had quietly expired, meaning new media ventures could already be in motion. Adding to the speculation, a Vanity Fair contributor hinted that Meghan might be considering a personal memoir, not scandal-driven this time, but redemptive, emotional, and told from her own point of view. The strategy, royal analysts say, is clear-cut. If the palace door stays closed, Meghan plans to build her own, whether Harry stands beside her or not. According to palace insiders, King Charles received her second letter on December 24th, just as he was finalizing notes for his Christmas speech. He reportedly read it alone in the white drawing room, surrounded by portraits of his late parents, visibly moved, yet deeply conflicted. One royal valet later described the letter as dangerous in its sincerity, saying it blended genuine emotion with strategic precision. Charles, by several accounts, saw what was coming: the potential book, the interviews, the renewed media spotlight. Yet he also saw something far more personal: his son standing on the edge of permanent separation from the royal fold. And as those close to him often say, the king has never been good at letting go. Still, despite Charles's emotional struggle, the institution itself is not hesitating. As of December 26th, the Privy Council reportedly began reviewing updates to the Succession Representation Guidelines, an obscure yet powerful framework that determines who can act on behalf of the crown. These proposed revisions, said to be championed by Princess Anne and Prince Edward, aim to officially exclude all non-working royals and their spouses from attending remembrance ceremonies, speaking for the monarchy, or using royal estates and symbols for any public appearances. Although Prince Harry remains part of the official line of succession, the updated framework would quietly remove him from any real participation in royal matters permanently. This move isn't just symbolic. Insiders describe it as constitutional containment, a decisive structural boundary designed to protect the institution from internal uncertainty. Queen Camilla, true to her reserved but resolute style, has stayed publicly silent. Yet her actions have spoken volumes. On the evening of December 25th, she reportedly hosted a private dinner at Highgrove House with Princess Anne, Prince William, the Duchess of Edinburgh, and Prince Edward in attendance. The king was notably absent, citing exhaustion and emotional strain after weeks of dealing with the quiet storm surrounding Meghan's letters. That night, according to those familiar with the gathering, Camilla said just one line, but it echoed through the estate with unmistakable weight. "If the king cannot draw the line, then we will." It wasn't spoken in anger, nor as a challenge, but as a statement of purpose. Her words, calm and deliberate, marked the moment the royal household collectively decided that self-preservation and institutional integrity must come before sentiment or reconciliation. Everyone in that room reportedly understood the gravity instantly. There was no applause, no reaction, only silence as the reality set in. The monarchy was closing its protective circle, and personal affection would no longer outweigh responsibility. One aide later remarked that the tone of the dinner felt like the quiet writing of policy, firm, unemotional, and final. Meanwhile, outside the tension of decision-making, young Princess Charlotte continued to spark deep emotional reflection within the family. A touching note from one of the royal nannies revealed that Princess Charlotte had written a short, heartfelt Christmas card addressed to Archie and Lilibet. It ended with the simple words, "I hope you remember our tree at Sandringham. I still hang the ornament you made." The message, innocent and pure, spoke volumes, a child's way of holding on to a bond that adults had complicated beyond repair. When Princess Catherine found the note, she reportedly folded it carefully and placed it inside a keepsake box. Later, she quietly told William, "They'll come back one day, but they have to come back to the truth, not to illusion." That softly spoken sentence, shared in confidence, has since become a defining phrase among senior royal aides, seen as the moral core of the entire divide. It served as a reminder that behind the layers of protocol and strategy, there are still hearts involved, and every decision carries personal weight. As 2025 draws to a close, the royal family finds itself divided not by open scandal, but by interpretation, a clash between compassion and structure, empathy and order. Each senior member stands where they believe duty calls them most. Princess Anne and Prince William hold firm to the principle of consistency and protection. Sophie and Edward continue to act as calm enforcers of stability, keeping the internal tone steady and united. And in the midst of it all, young Charlotte, wise beyond her years, has quietly become a symbol of emotional truth within the family, reminding those around her of humanity's place within history's strictest traditions. Across the ocean, Meghan Markle watches from Montecito, fully aware that her next move may shape her lasting legacy. To some, she appears as a misunderstood figure seeking peace and closure. To others, she's seen as a strategist, preparing a controlled final chapter of her story, one where she holds the narrative in her own hands. Meanwhile, the royal institution is no longer simply responding to Meghan's letters or measured attempts at reconnection. Insiders say it has shifted into full preparation mode, not for public conflict, but for preservation. What's happening now inside royal walls isn't loud or public, it's quiet, legal, and deeply strategic. Behind Buckingham's gold-trimmed corridors and the secure firewalls of Clarence House, a silent confrontation is unfolding. It's being led by constitutional advisors, legacy experts, and top-tier legal minds, all working to protect the monarchy's long-term stability. Their mission? To shield the institution from potential shocks, whether from upcoming memoirs, new media projects, or any move that could shift the narrative in the Sussexes' favor. At the center of this behind-the-scenes effort lies a long-sealed document known privately as the Obsidian Letter, said to be Queen Elizabeth II's final written safeguard for the crown. According to sources familiar with palace operations, this confidential record outlines key principles for defending royal integrity in the modern era, especially against media or legal challenges that blur the line between public image and royal authority. Royal insiders confirmed that the palace's legal division, reportedly led by senior counsel from Gray's Inn, has been meticulously combing through every public statement and appearance made by Harry and Meghan since their 2020 departure. This deep audit includes footage from their documentary series, transcripts from podcast episodes, excerpts from Harry's memoir Spare, and even internal correspondence tied to their production company and staff communications. Every document, every interview, every public remark is being evaluated with precision. The reason for such urgency is simple but critical. Any potential royal return, even a symbolic one, could change legal interpretations surrounding their status. Experts warn that if Meghan were to reappear at a royal event, even briefly, it could be seen as reinstating a degree of official association, allowing her to frame future projects or publications as coming from someone within the circle. Such a move could reopen complex legal territory, blurring distinctions between private private citizen and royal insider, and might even challenge certain protections that currently shield the monarchy from public misrepresentation. In short, one small step back into the palace could reset everything. Though Meghan has publicly denied signing any formal book agreement, insiders at major publishing houses, including Penguin Random House and HarperCollins, confirmed there's still strong interest in her story. Executives reportedly see enormous potential if her next project explores motherhood, identity, and the emotional cost of being misunderstood, rather than lean into controversy. One senior publishing source summed it up clearly. This isn't about scandal, it's about survival. According to those close to her, Meghan is shaping a story where she tried every possible route towards peace and understanding, only to be criticized for caring too deeply. But to make that version of the story believable, she needs an emotional catalyst, something current, visible, and raw. Many insiders believe her heartfelt letters to Princess Anne and King Charles were written with exact that goal in mind, establishing a public trail of reaching out that could later become part of her narrative arc. Meanwhile, the palace is moving with precision to prevent any symbolic connection that could strengthen Meghan's public positioning. No return appearances, no friendly photo opportunities, no chance encounters that could be spun as a renewed alliance. Every possible pathway back is being quietly sealed off, and for good reason. Recently uncovered details from the 2020 Sussex exit agreement shed new light on how structured those boundaries really are. A rarely mentioned provision, referred to internally as Clause 12B, outlines the risks tied to any re-engagement with royal duties. The clause reportedly reads, should either party, Harry or Meghan, voluntarily step away and later seek to re-enter public representation of the crown, all prior agreements, including non-disparagement and confidentiality protections, would be subject to full renegotiation and potential revocation. In plain language, that means if Meghan attempted to return to royal activity and later published new material, she could lose many of the legal safeguards currently protecting her under the original 2020 terms. This single clause has now become the centerpiece of the palace's legal and risk management strategy. The most powerful twist in this unfolding saga doesn't come from Meghan or her legal team, but from a long hidden letter written by Queen Elizabeth II herself. Known privately as the Obsidian Letter, it was penned in January 2022, just months before her passing, and carefully sealed in a black leather folio within her personal writing cabinet at Balmoral. The letter was meant to be opened only when the time called for it, and that time arrived in late December 2025, triggered by Meghan's quiet request to return. According to insiders familiar with the document, the Queen used the letter to lay out her final thoughts on the future of the monarchy, the preservation of legacy, and the rightful place of the Sussex children within the royal lineage. But what truly startled those who read it was one powerful decree: that no individual who had publicly stepped away from the crown should ever re-enter its fold under the banner of sentiment or remembrance. To do so, she wrote, is to weaken the walls my father built and my mother defended. That single line has since become the emotional cornerstone of the palace's current position, quoted privately as the moral justification for denying Meghan any symbolic or ceremonial return. The Queen ended her letter with a final note addressed to her daughter: "Guard this boundary, my dearest, not out of anger, but out of clarity." Those words struck like a quiet command, a final directive from a monarch who had always believed duty must come before comfort. Since the letter's contents were revealed, Princess Anne, Prince William, and Prince Edward have reportedly met privately several times to reaffirm the family's unified stance. As one insider put it, Meghan may visit Britain, but she will not return to the firm. The message is unmistakable. Personal emotion may exist, but institutional boundaries are now carved in stone. Meanwhile, Prince Harry's situation grows increasingly uncertain. Sources close to him say he's surrounded by silence, no direct communication from senior royals, no clear path forward, and mounting tension as Meghan prepares her next media chapter with precision. The palace, for its part, is closing ranks tighter than ever before, and at the center of it all, King Charles, perhaps the only remaining bridge between both worlds, has reportedly not spoken directly to Harry in nearly 10 days. The financial strain surrounding the Sussex household is reportedly reaching a breaking point. The Spotify partnership has officially ended, Netflix productions are said to be paused, and Archewell's internal restructuring has resulted in nearly 40% staff reductions, a move insiders interpret as a sign of donor fatigue and fading brand momentum. According to multiple sources, Prince Harry now faces a narrow, difficult crossroads: attempt reconciliation with his father on his own, quietly distance himself from Meghan's public efforts, or remain fully aligned with her and risk total exclusion from royal circles, along with growing financial uncertainty. Time, it seems, is quickly running out. Then, precisely at 8 a.m. on December 27, 2025, Buckingham Palace broke its silence. A short, carefully worded statement, under 80 words, was released across official royal channels, but its impact was seismic. It read, "In accordance with the wishes of the late Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and under the current direction of His Majesty the King, the royal household confirms that no changes will be made to the existing structure of working members of the royal family. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are respectfully recognized as private citizens. No engagements or appearances under royal auspices are scheduled or authorized for 2026. No direct names beyond titles, no sentiment, no ambiguity, just structure, final and immovable." For many observers, it marked the quiet but absolute closing of a chapter, not only for royal participation, but also for legacy in Montecito. The silence that followed was striking. Meghan reportedly received the statement just minutes before it went public. Sources say she read it alone in her private office, showing no outward reaction. Across the estate, Prince Harry was later seen walking alone through the gardens, holding a worn copy of his mother's biography, with a handwritten note tucked between its pages. Whether the note was from King Charles or intended for him remains a mystery, one that only deepens the emotional distance now separating them. Within palace walls, insiders confirmed that King Charles made a deliberate choice not to personally respond to Meghan's second letter. Instead, he authorized the official statement as his only reply: formal, restrained, and final. Afterwards, he reportedly requested solitude at Birkhall, his Scottish retreat, where he planned to spend the new year in reflection. Behind closed doors, Prince Harry reportedly remains torn, divided between his loyalty to his family and the life he's built abroad. Yet in public, he's calm, measured, and accepting of the palace's final decision. Queen Camilla, Prince William, Princess Anne, and Prince Edward have all reaffirmed their shared stance, signaling an unmistakable royal consensus as the family heads into 2026, united, resolute, and unwavering. On December 26th, a rare moment of innocence emerged amid the quiet storm. Princess Charlotte asked if she could send one last letter to Archie and Lilibet. There was no royal agenda, no undertone of conflict, just the purity of a child's heart reaching across an invisible divide. Inside the envelope was a simple drawing of Sandringham's Christmas tree, shining with light, and a handwritten note that read, "I hope next year, wherever you are, feels a little like this." That letter, while never meant for public eyes, has already become a quiet piece of royal history, a small but powerful symbol of what was lost and what still remains. Within palace walls, insiders whisper about it as a gentle reminder that beneath protocol and politics, there is still humanity, fragile, longing, and real. As 2025 draws its final breath, two royal worlds continue forward. One in Windsor, anchored by tradition, duty, and the unshakable rhythm of legacy. The other in California, guided by reinvention, self-determination, and the pursuit of emotional truth. Between them lies a silent divide, not marked by scandal or shouting, but by letters, pauses, and the unspoken ache of trust broken over time. In the end, the firm didn't need to respond loudly or dramatically. It simply closed its gates, calm, decisive, and final. History, as it always does, will carry the rest, leaving each figure to face the echo of their own decisions, with the world watching in quiet fascination. And that brings us to you, the audience, following every turn of this royal story. What do you think will happen next? Will Meghan make another move, or has the palace drawn its final line for good? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story if you've been following the royal saga from the start. More twists, letters, and inside updates are coming soon, so stay tuned because this royal drama is far from over.